According to data for 2012, in the territory of Los Angeles operates 274 African American gangs. The biggest ones are the community Crips, Bloods, and Pyrus. Crips and Bloods, in fact, are alliances of various small autonomous African American gangs, linked often only shared symbols. These small gangs form communities of Crips and Bloods, often feuding with each other, especially clearly expressed in groups Crips. Crips, one of the oldest gangs in the Los Angeles. It was created in 1969 as a teenage African-American Stanley Tookie Williams and Raymond Washington. They began to gather a small African-American gangs into one big, eager, in their words, to create an organization that could counter the police violence, which suffered their area. Gang Crips began to grow quickly, and although it was originally a monolith with a specific toponymic reference, several streets in South Los Angeles, with an increase in the number of new Crips groups in adjacent areas of South Los Angeles. In 1970 IES there was a split group into many warring gangs who have a common symbolism and culture. Crips gangs are often at war with each other, in particular, was known for a long and bloody war between two gangs, Crips 8 Trey Gangsters and the Rollin 60. Also widely known war in South Central Los Angeles between gangs Crip East Coast Crips and Grape Street. The cause of the war was the assassination of the leader of the Grape Street Crips, Brandon Ballard, who was killed by bandits East Coast Crip during an argument over a girl. A few days after the death of Ballard in the city was killed 13 people, members of both gangs and passers-by. In the weeks that followed killed even more people. Most of the killings of members Crips occur because of internal conflicts. In Los Angeles there are about 200 gangs Crips. These gangs engaged in drug trafficking, robbery, murder, extortion, theft and forgery. The number of community Crips is about 50,000-65,000 people. One of the most famous criminal wars in the history of Los Angeles is a long war between the African American criminal groups are the Crips and Bloods. Pyrus, African American group consisting of several separate gangs, was founded in 1968 in Compton. Until 1972 was part of the community Crips operating in the vicinity of the site Pyrus. In the summer of 1972 between the Crips and the Pyrus had a conflict, which turned into hostility. Pyrus, who was not able to compete with the many Crips gang, called a conference of black gangs, Crips Fears. At this conference a decision was made to form the alliance of the Bloods gang. In 2004, due to conflicts within the alliance group, Pyrus Bloods in the county of Los Angeles came out of the Bloods. However, part of the community Pyrus gangs remained in the alliance of the Bloods gang, in particular, in the cities of Compton, Carson, Inglewood, and Watt. The Pyrus gang is engaged in robberies, extortion, drug trafficking and murder. Bloods is an alliance of African American gangs, warring with Crips. Was formed by a group of black gangs. In 1972 the members of the gang Pyrus, fear warring with them powerful gangs Crips, organized a meeting, which invited those gangs, on which participants made attacks gangsters Crips. At the meeting, the gangs Pyrus, Looters Park Hustlers, the LA Brim, Denver Lanes and the Bishops, alarmed at the rapid spread of the Crips gang, was organized by the alliance of the Bloods gang, hoping that this alliance will be able to resist the Crips. Later, many other gangs, warring with Crips, had joined the Bloods alliance. One of the bloodiest wars in the history of the gangs of Los Angeles was in progress in 1980 IES of the war between the Bounty Hunters, one of the largest Bloods gangs in the district, and the Grape Street Crips. After 2004, the gang Pyrus, because of internal disagreement, came from the alliance of the Bloods gang. It was agreed on the truce between the Bloods and Crips, which can be considered formal. Of the gangs, Pyrus came from the Bloods, but some remained. Most groups of the Alliance, the Bloods, are a gang in the comedy Pyrus. In Los Angeles there are about 75 of gangs within the Bloods. They are engaged in drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, murder. The number of Bloods about 15,000,30,000 people. Gangs Bloods often compete with each other, but they are not fighting each other as hard as Crips.